stay on trade. Also turn to the 2020 presidential election. President Trump tweeted last night about former Vice President Joe Biden. He said this: China is dreaming that sleepy Joe Biden or any of the others gets elected in 2020. They love ripping off America. Joining us right now is former House Speaker, Fox News contributor, and the author of the new political thriller, Collusion. Newt Gingrich is with us. And good to see you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm glad to be with you.
So what do you think about that? Is that what this is about? You think that China figures maybe their days are numbered with Donald Trump and they could just wait it out?
No, I think the Chinese are caught in a real box because, frankly, even if you think Trump's not going to get reelected, and I personally think he's going to get reelected, but even if you thought he wasn't, you're talking about January of 2021. Well, their economy is not going to take the battering that Trump can deliver if they refuse to negotiate. Remember, the biggest customer has a huge advantage in negotiations because the other side needs the sale. We don't need the sale, the Chinese do. And the basic argument that Trump makes, which I agree with, is that we've had a very one-sided relationship. They've used intellectual property theft. They've taken enormous advantage. They have a closed market. They don't allow many of our high-tech companies to compete. They subsidize in many ways. And so the Chinese are faced with a real crisis because we're telling them we're going to change the rules of the game that have grotesquely favored you. And they're saying we don't want to change the rules of the game. We like the fact they favor us. And that's what the core of this argument is. It's not anything complicated. The details are complex, but the core principle is simple. China got to be this big and this wealthy because all the rules of the game favored them, and we tolerated behavior that's intolerable.
Right.
Well, now you've got a president who's saying enough.
But how far are we going to take this?
The Chinese have a big problem.
Newt, look at these markets. I mean, the Chinese have a big problem. Yeah, I get that. But are we going to have a big problem as well? Is this going to cut into economic growth, take away all the benefits from the tax cut plan, and look at our markets down 400 points right now?
Look, I think the market is responding psychologically. The underlying momentum of the American economy is fine and is going to accelerate. And in fact, if we rebuild our manufacturing, as we have been under Trump with, I think, over 400,000 new manufacturing jobs, we're going to end up substituting American products. And I'll tell you, you look at 5G and Huawei, for example, you want to produce chips in the U.S., not produce chips in China. Now, there are a whole range of these issues where you may actually see a bigger American economy, not a smaller one. And again, I'm not a theoretical free trader, and neither was Adam Smith, who wrote The Wealth of Nations. I think when it's to our advantage, we ought to have open markets.
Right.
When it's not to our advantage, we ought to have closed markets.
Speaker Gingrich, it's Jackie DeAngelis. The president taking a hard line here with China. It's unprecedented, actually, in many ways. And a lot of economists are saying if there's any time to do this and to have these negotiations play out, even if it brings volatility to the stock market, it's now because there's strength in this economy.
Right. I mean, the truth is the Europeans are totally messed up with a welfare state system that doesn't work, and with increasing pressure on Europe to fall apart, as they are with Great Britain, for example. The Chinese aren't going to have a lot of alternative markets. And ultimately, we can take a fight with China on economics a lot better than the Chinese can take a fight with us. Their stock market will suffer worse. But I also, and I know this goes against the spirit of a daily show, so I apologize. I don't worry about ups and downs in the stock market.
Right.
I worry about long-term patterns, and the long-term pattern right now for the U.S. is remarkable. And the truth is, as Larry Kudlow has said, we are engaged in a prosperity cycle, and there's every reason to believe it's going to continue and accelerate. We may be the only country in the world that can withstand this kind of pressure because our domestic economy has been liberated and our entrepreneurs are going back to work.
Newt, hi, James Freeman at the Wall Street Journal. I wanted to ask you about, Ken, how do you get a deal with China? We've mentioned Liu He's negotiating for China. Everyone seems to think he's a reformer. We saw with Blake Berman's report the things he was asking for publicly seemed fairly reasonable. But then we read that our paper has a story about China demanding that the details of a trade agreement not be disclosed publicly. Also saying they don't want to legislate against intellectual property theft. I mean, obviously, some of these demands we can take more seriously than others.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, first of all, understand, the People's Liberation Army runs entire units designed to steal. I mean, this is not some random behavior by 3 teenagers in Beijing. They have entire units of the People's Liberation Army who do nothing full-time except steal American intellectual property. So you're asking them to undertake changes in behavior that are excruciating. And I want to make a point to everybody in the audience so you understand what we're dealing with. Xi Jinping is the Secretary General of the Communist Party, the chairman of the Military Commission, and the president of China in that order.
Yeah.
This is ultimately, there are no moderates in China.
Yeah. There's also a rule that no company can have any important or big innovation before going to the military. First, all innovations have to be used for the military. Right. That's the priority. So this is so much bigger than just trade. And I agree with you, especially since, as China is like building up, military bases across the world, setting up islands in the South China Sea, putting military bases on those islands.
Well, that's why I wrote a paper recently for members of Congress outlining that the real issue with 5G and Huawei is it's the first worldwide struggle with China, where they've had a very clever, very intelligent strategy. My hat's off to them. Yeah. They're smart people. But we need to understand this is going to be a big, long-term struggle, and they're not going to cave. I mean, they're not going to suddenly turn around and say, oh, gee, let us be nice people.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see if it takes economic growth out of the good numbers that we've been seeing. Before you go, Newt, I got to ask you about the Mueller report and the fallout. The president tweeted last night this: despite 2 years and millions of dollars spent, the Democrats are acting like crazed lunatics ever since the results of the Mueller report were made public. But they knew there was nothing even before the report was started. It is all a big hoax, the biggest in American history. On Sunday Morning Futures yesterday, in my exclusive interview with Senator Lindsey Graham, he gave us an update on declassifying documents related to the Steele dossier and the FISA abuse. Watch this. I don't know why the president hasn't done it yet. He said that he will do it. He told me that and others. Do you expect him to do it? And what will we learn from those documents?
Well, I think you'll learn that the FBI was on notice that Christopher Steele was not a reliable informant when it came to Trump, that he was being paid for by the Democratic Party, that his work product had not been vetted, and that he was out to get Trump, and they used the dossier anyway. I think you're going to learn a lot about how the counterintelligence investigation actually opened up, that Papadopoulos wasn't working with the Russians. They put it in his head that the Russians stole Clinton emails. All this will be coming sooner rather than later.
So Newt, your reaction?
Well, first of all, Lindsey Graham is doing a very good job as chairman of the Judiciary Committee. And he's laying out the right framework. My view as a historian is very simple. You had an attempted coup d'etat from Obama through the Attorney General to the FBI, and we're going to learn more and more about how really sick it was.
Newt, it's great to see you this morning. Thank you so much.